Shalom Wakazak Mashpaka. Welcome to another episode of Daily Tonic in the Word, right here on GC Create TV. And today in the house, we are having my daughter, Princess Mabakan, who is here with Daddy today that want to read scriptures with Daddy. So yes, we will continue from where we stop, which is from Bere'shiyth chapter 9 to chapter 12. We've taken chapter 1 to chapter 4 in the first episode, chapter 5 to chapter 8 yesterday. We're taking chapter 9 to chapter 12 today. Bere'shiyth chapter 9, and I'll take from verse 1. And it says, And Elohim blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moves upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hands are they delivered. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. Even as the green herbs have I given you all things. But flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. And surely your blood of your lives will I require at the hand of every beast that I require it. And at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother, will I require the life of man. Whosoever sheds man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Elohim made he man. And you, be ye fruitful and multiply. Bring forth abundantly in the earth, and multiply therein. Verse 8. And Elohim spoke to Noah and his sons with him, saying, And behold, I establish my covenant with you, and with your seed after you, and with every living creature that is with you, and the fowls and of the cattle, and of every beast of the earth with you, from all that go out of the ark to every beast of the earth. And I will establish my covenant with you. Neither shall all flesh be cut off any more by the waters of a flood. Neither shall there any more be a flood to destroy the earth. And Elohim said, This is a sign of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you, for perpetual generation. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a sign of a covenant between me and the earth. I do, verse 14, and it shall come to pass, when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud, and I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you, and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between Elohim and every living creature of all flesh that is upon the earth. And Elohim said unto Noah, This is a sign of the covenant which I establish between me and all flesh that is upon the earth.
For sponsorship, advert placement, please call or WhatsApp this number, +234 811 731 0928.
come from that short commercial break. Sorry, we have to take that emergency commercial break because of my daughter actually has started reacting. So we are in verse 18 and it says, "And the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham is the father of Canaan. These are the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard, and he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father and told his brethren without. And Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it upon both their shoulders and went backward and covered the nakedness of their father. And their faces were backward, and they saw not their father's nakedness." 24. And Noah awoke from his wine and knew what his younger son had done unto him. And he said, "Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brethren." And he said, "Blessed be Yahuwah Elohai of Shem, and Canaan shall be a servant. Elohim shall enlarge Japheth, and he shall dwell in the tent of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant." And Noah lived after the flood 350 years, and all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died. Now, I want you to pick a point here actually. Remember that Shem was the father of Canaan, who saw the nakedness of their father and went to tell his brothers. But for that singular act that he refused to cover his father, Yahweh did not cause Noah did not cause harm. He didn't cause harm. Instead, he caused a son, which is Canaan. He said, "He shall be a servant of servants." But today in Nigeria, we have a particular church in Nigeria that call their own so-called church Canaan land, which in the Bible simply means the land of the servant of servants. They are making themselves servant of servants instead of becoming sons of Yahuwah. A lot of people actually are picking things from the Bible without reading the full interpretation. Also, if you observe here, Noah blessed Shem and he also blessed Japheth. Yah's will, when we read further till we get to the book of Jubilee, I will also show you the part that explained the blessings of Japheth and how Japheth himself got envious of his brother Shem, and he built his own city in his name, but named that city after his own woman. That is for another time. Let's push further. chapter 10. Now these are the generations of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and unto them were sons born after the flood. Verse 2. The sons of Japheth, Gima, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshech, and Thirak. And the sons of Gima, Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togamar. And the sons of Yavan, Elisha, and Tashish, Kittim, and Dodanim. Verse 5. By these were the issues of the other nations divided in their land, every one after his tongue, after their families, and in their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cush, Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, and Kavila, and Kavta, and Ramah, and Kafteka. And the sons of Ramah, Sheva, and Dedan. Verse 8. And Cush begat Nimrod, and began to be a warrior and hunter in the earth. He was a warrior and a hunter before Yahuwah, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod the warrior hunted before Yahuwah. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Ashur, and built Nineveh, and the city Rehoboth, and Kelash, and Resen between Nineveh and Kelesh. The same is a great city. And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Anamim, and Lehavim, and Nephtukim, and Petrukim, and Kaklukim, out of whom came Pelishtim, we they call the Philistines, and Caphtorim. And Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Shet, and the Yevusi, and the Emori, and the Girgashi, and the Kiviv, and the Arkiv, and the Arki, and the Sine, and the Abadi, and the Simairi, and the Kamathi. And afterwards were the families of the Canaanim spread abroad. And the border of Canaanim was from Sidon, as you come to Gera unto Gaza, as you go unto Sodom, and Amorah, and Admah, and Shevim, even unto Lesha. These are the sons of Ham, after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, and in their nation. Now, talking about the aspect of Ham, for those who might not know history, let me talk about this part called Nigeria. In case you all don't know, that particular son of Ham, on this side in Nigeria, or let's say that on this side of Africa, if you can go on Google to get the Trans-Saharan slave trade map, you will observe that the Hausa's town was never in this place. It was outside Nigeria. These are the descendants of that sons of Canaan, the slave of slaves. It was when the so-called Arabs from Egypt, Cairo, came down here to want to come and take slave, as their merchants back then was slave merchantry. But for the fact that they were able to speak, they can understand the language of the Hausas on this side, who are actually their own brothers too. Just that they have slight language barriers. The Fulanis can understand the Hausas, but the Hausas can understand the Fulani's indigenous language. In that instance, that is where these people actually came from. Now, the children of Cairo, which are also descendants of Ham, that came here to confederate with the Hausas to come into this place they call Nigeria to come and steal slave during the Trans-Saharan slave trade. They chose to tag that slave trade as jihad, which they call holy war. We all know that no war will Yahweh ask anyone to go there just to go and steal the people who are there as slaves to sell them off as well. To prove to you that there are histories that are hidden, but the Bible will expose everything. Let us press further. These are the sons of Ham and the families. We read that. Now we are in verse 21. Unto Shem also, the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder, even to him were children born. The children of Shem, Ashur, and Arpachshad, and Lud, and Aram. And the children of Aram, Uz, and Kul, and Gethar, and Mash, and Arpachshad begat Shelach, and Shelach begat Eber. And unto Eber were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Joktan begat Almodad, and Shelef, and Shatsarmavet, which we call Hazamavet, Hatshakmavet, and Yerek, and Adoram, and Uzal, and Dikla, and Oval, and Abimael, and Sheva, and Ophir, and Kavila, and Yovav. All these are the sons of Joktan, and their dwelling was from Mesha, as you go unto Sephar, a mountain of the east. These are the sons of Shem, after their families, after their tongues, and in their land, after their nation. 32, the last verse for chapter 10. These are the families of the sons of Noah, after their generations, in their nations, and by this were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. Chapter 11. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them truly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build up a city and a tower, whose top may reach the heavens, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And Yahuwah came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men built. And Yahuwah said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So Yahuwah scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build a city. Therefore, it is the name of it called Babel, because Yahuwah did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did Yahuwah scatter them abroad upon the face of the earth. Now, this actually is going back to those who have questions, saying, but after the flood, are you trying to tell us now that the sons of Noah had different languages? This was actually what happened. They are giving birth to generations upon generations, but because they have one language, that is why they are able to come together to claim that they want to build a tower that reach the heavens. But Yahuwah had to go ahead of them to scatter their language so that they will not be able to get what they are trying to do right. It is from thence that we now have different nations and different languages, even down to we, the 12 tribes of Yasharel. That is also how we have our own different languages from each tribes. That is why right here we have the Igbos with their language, we have the Yorubas with their language, we have some parts of the Calabar people who are also from the tribe of Ephraim as well, with their own language too. These are all the wonderful works of Yahuwah. These are all the wonderful works of Yahuwah. Let us push further. Verse 10. These are the generations of Shem. And Shem was 100 years old and begat Arpachshad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begat Arpachshad 500 years and begat sons and daughters. And Arpachshad lived 530 years and begat Shelach. And Arpachshad lived after he begat Shelach 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Shelach lived 30 years and begat Eber. And Shelach lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 430 years and begat Peleg. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Reu. And Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years and begat sons and daughters. And Reu lived 230 years and begat Sherog. And Reu lived after he begat Serog 207 years and begat sons and daughters. And Serog lived 30 years and begat Nachor. And Serog lived after he begat Nachor 200 years and begat sons and daughters. And Nachor lived 29 years and begat Terach. And Nachor lived after he begat Terach 119 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terach lived 70 years before and begat Avram, which we know as Abram. And Nachor and Haram. Now these are the generations of Terach. Terach begat Avram, Nachor and Haram. And Haram begat Lot, who actually happens to be the cousin of Abraham. And Haram died after his father Terach in the land of his nativity, and in Ur of the Kashdim. And Avram and Nachor took them women, and the name of Avram's woman was Sarai, and the name of Nachor's woman Milcah, and the name of Nachor's woman Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Yikah. Verse 30. But Sarai was barren and she had no child. Now this is what I want you to pay attention to. If you observed all these patriarchs that are being listed here, it keep mentioning a particular of their child which was born, and later said that these people actually lived and had sons and daughters. That's to tell you that even though they had sons and daughters, the only one that was actually chosen is that particular one that was mentioned from Perog and the likes, coming down or to get to Avram. Let's keep reading. And Terach took Avram his son, and Lot the son of Haran, and his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, and his son Avram's woman, and they went forth with them from Ur of Kasdim to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran, and dwelt there. And the days of Terach was 205 years, and Terach died in Haran. Verse 12, the last chapter for today. Now Yahuwah said unto El-Havram, get you out of your country, and from your kindred, and from your father's house, unto a land that I will show you. And I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you, and I will make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless you, and curse them that curses you. And in you shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed, as Yahuwah had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai, his woman, and Lot, his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto a place of Shechem, unto the plain of Moreh. And the Canaanite was then in the land. And Yahuwah appeared unto Abram and said, unto your seed will I give this land. And there built he an altar unto Yahuwah, who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain at the east of Bethel. He pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Ai on the east. And there he built an altar unto Yahuwah, and called upon the name of Yahuwah. Verse 9. And Abraham journeyed, going on still towards Negev, and there was a famine in the land. And Abraham went into Mizraim, which is called Egypt, to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Mizraim, he said unto Sarah, his woman, behold, now I know that you are a fair woman to look upon. That is why I do encourage our sisters. If Abraham, our forefathers, can know and tell his wife Sarah that I know that you are a fair woman to look upon. What I mean by fair is that she's a beautiful woman. That is why we have the book of Psalms 50 verse 2, which declared, saying, out of Zion the perfection of beauty Yahuwah shine. So my sisters, don't think that because you are looking somehow, and the so-called, let me use that word, and the so-called other nations are make you believing that as a dark-skinned woman that you are ugly, that you do makeup before you are beautiful. Don't care about what they are saying. Yahuwah have created you to be a perfection, and that's it. Let's press further. Verse 12. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Mizraim shall see you, that they shall say, this is his woman, and they will kill me, but they will save you alive. Say, I pray you, you are my sister, that I may be well with you for your sake, and my soul shall live because of you. And it came to pass that when Abraham was come into Mizraim, and the Mizraim beheld the woman, that she was very fair, the princess also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house, and he entreated Abraham well for her sake, and he had sheep and oxen, and he asses, and men servants and maid servants, and she asses, and camel. Can you see that? Now, at some point, some people will say here that, but Abraham lied. Now, here's my question. Have you forgotten that Sarah actually was actually initially his sister too, because she's actually the daughter of one of his uncles. Sarah is the daughter of one of Abraham's uncles, which means in a way they are cousins. Should I say cousins? Abraham happens to be like an uncle, while she happens to be like a niece. If I'm correct. So partially they are brothers and sisters. Abraham wasn't lying that she was his sister. So for those who are saying that Abraham lied, you gotta be very careful. Study well to understand what you're saying. Let's press further. Verse 17. And Yahuwah plagued Pharaoh and his house with a great plague because of Sarai, Abraham's woman. And Pharaoh called Abraham and said, what is it that you have done unto me? Why did you not tell me that she was your woman? Why said you, she is my sister? So I might have taken her to me to be my woman. Now therefore, behold your woman. Take her and go your way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away and his woman and all that he had. Now, this is where to tell you that truly, when you're actually on Yahuwah's side, no matter what the enemies can try to do to you, Yahuwah will always pop up for your sake and fight for you. Abraham said so because he wants them to spare his life. He knew that Sarah actually was a beautiful woman out of Zion, a perfection of beauty. And he knew that the people of Mizraim, that's the Egyptians, would definitely see her and be like, wow, look at this beautiful black woman. But to save his life, because it's not in his own father's land, he had to tell them that she's his sister. But for the fact that he wasn't lying, though she's his wife, was also his sister, Yahweh had to plague the house of Pharaoh for the sake of Abraham and Sarah. That was why the next action from Pharaoh was to call for Abraham and tell him, why don't you tell me that she's your wife? Truth be told, if he had told Pharaoh that she was his wife, Pharaoh might have thrown him into the prison or even commanded the Bere'shiyth to kill him. But he had to play that wise part. So don't think that Abraham lied to call Sarai his wife. So here we are making it a close for today's episode of the program. Yazoo will join again tomorrow, starting from chapter 13, going to chapter 16 of the book of Bere'shiyth. See you tomorrow. With this I say shalom, and may the peace of Yahuwah be with you all.